Kia ora, welcome back. This is the sixth video in a series of videos accompanying the book Learning and the Future of Learning. And in this one here, we've been looking at previously the three learning systems so far, and that's our ability to sense our world, our ability to sequence, to speak and listen, and the adaptation of that to learn off by heart. And our third one was about the way we form and recognise patterns in our brain to form ideas and concepts. Our fourth learning system, and once again unique to human beings, is our ability to be creative. And so no other species has the capacity for creativity, and that's because no other species has the ability to actually form new ideas and concepts on the fly. So, creativity. First of all, it's important to recognise the fact that everybody is creative pretty much equitably. There's not super creative people and non-creative people. Okay? What tends to happen is that, so Ken Robinson speaks about this, he talks about the fact that when we go to school we're educated out of being creative because there is one answer to almost everything we do in schools historically. So last century there was a right answer and everything else was wrong. What we're starting to appreciate now is that we need to encourage creativity in our young people and focus on creativity, because what creativity does is it allows us to be innovative and ingenious. Right? And we use our imagination. So creativity leverages our imagination. So our imagination is defined by the way in which our brain can create our mind so that we can integrate all the senses and imagine the possible and the impossible without actually importing any data. The data is all in our heads already. So when we're being creative, we're mixing up the knowledge we've learnt, the senses we've experienced, the ideas, the concepts. They're all in our brain, and what's happening in our brain, our amygdala and our hippocampus are working together to actually send out brain waves to see whether there's some interference patterns they can pick up that says this would be a good combination of knowledge, ideas, concepts, experiences, etc. to solve the problem we're looking to solve. And so brain waves are the functional driver of our ability to be creative. So this is not a cellular thing. And we can come up with a new idea really quickly. Right? We come up with an idea very, very quickly, or a new concept really, really quickly. We map concepts really, really quickly. And we map concepts really quickly because brain waves travel through our head at 300,000 kilometers per second, which is very fast. Right? So we can have those, got it, and we have our aha moments, okay, when we come up with a new idea or a new concept, or we've learnt to brake, or we've learnt to steer, we've learnt a roundabouts, etc. So creativity is something we need to encourage right from the word go. And generally speaking, schools last century encouraged people to not be creative, to get the one answer, as opposed to think laterally and creatively. So we're now rethinking this because what's driving most of our successful businesses these days is innovation. Innovation is coming up with a new idea and concept, recombining our knowledge, ideas and concepts, and etc. to come up with a new concept framework, which is a collection of concepts and ideas and knowledge. So driving a car is a collection of concepts, steering, slowing down, roundabouts, give way signs, okay? Also sensing our way in the car, etc. So a concept framework is a collection of all our learning systems data that's been collected. Our sensory data, our sequencing data, our ideas, concepts, to form a concept framework. And these are very complex. So what we want to do now is we want to sort of think, how do we maximize our potential for creativity? One of the things that we have told kids off for in the past is daydreaming. And if you're an educator, I can almost guarantee you were regularly told off for daydreaming. Most people who have an interest in the world or curious about the world will daydream. And curiosity is an incredibly powerful driving factor. If you're curious, you want to learn, you want to understand. Right? And so what we want to do is we need to give kids time to daydream in our classrooms. because we want them to be creative. They don't get creative by brainstorming. Brainstorming adds new knowledge, ideas, concepts, etc. to the mix, and that grows your reservoir to be creative with. But actually, to put it all together, you can't be thinking about anything else. Because being creative is the one conscious thing you can do. So you can't do anything else consciously. So you have to be in a daydreaming state, which is why many of our good ideas come when we're in the shower on our own, okay, falling asleep at night, waking up first thing in the morning, sitting in a plane and just gazing out the window at the clouds. That's when we come up with our creative ideas and concepts. And then we can apply those to be innovative, which is coming up with that clever idea, and ingenious is when we create the product, the system, the environment, or the media format, okay, to express that idea or concept we've come up with, or concept framework. So, imagination and creativity, quite complex in terms of trying to imagine that in our own mind, but at the same time, very, very powerful. And it is, once again, something that is only us as human beings have the capacity to be creative. So have a read of the chapter in the book, go through that, follow up the references, and we'll talk to you more in chapter 7. Thanks very much.